whomever has that contract, that's how we envision them. Originally, when I talked with CCP, I had said I want it all inclusive because we don't have that much staff. I want you to plan the venues and do everything that is needed to do those venues. They came back and said, we really don't have the actual expertise to do the venue acquisition. We're the people who do the meetings. And so we have another entity, CCE, that would take care of that part, the actual acquisition. So if we went with a private consultant to drive the lines, Berkeley, CCP, and CCE, we're talking about putting 4 contracts into place. The only contract in there that has to be considered outside of the realm of interagency agreement is the private consultancy that Karin has spoken to. All the rest of those entities are within the state framework and are covered by government code, where it says if the government has this service and they can provide a reasonable service to you, then you should use it because that's just an efficient way to do business. So those are the contracts. 3 can go interagency. 1 has to be considered under this alternate mode.
Thank you very much. And I apologize if everybody else was up to speed on that, but definitely provided clarity. Thank you.
So, question, assuming we do have to go at least one contract outside of the interagency mode, you said that we can avoid the competitive bid process if there's sort of a temporal urgency to it, which we sort of feel. But what is sort of the limits of that, and sort of saying, well, it really is too little time to do a competitive bid, and are we close to that at this point?
So we never want to avoid the competitive bid if we're going into a private the private contract arena. But there are circumstances where, and I'll give you a great example of that. I believe that when LA had the freeway that collapsed, I believe they went on a sole source contract, Caltrans, because they needed a freeway, and so they said, we don't have time to add the time that is necessary to get this job done, so we're going to go to a contractor we know that can get the job done, and they structured the contract in that way. When you have a compressed time frame like this, it allows you to make that consideration and say, in our minds, we have to get going on this with enough in order to finish and